Blackstone presents The Manifestations of Sherlock Holmes, a short story collection by James Lovegrove. This book is read by Dennis Kleinman. Introduction. There's a school of thought, let's call it My Dear Watson Elementary, that argues that Sir Arthur Conan Doyle wrote better Sherlock Holmes short stories than he did Sherlock Holmes novels. Or, to put it another way, a Sherlock Holmes adventure works most effectively at shorter length. To some extent, this theory is backed up by that crucial Holmesian prerequisite, hard evidence. Out of the 4 canonical novels, 2, A Study in Scarlet and The Valley of Fear, are basically novellas augmented by subsidiary novellas that fill in the backstory of the case Holmes and Watson are investigating. Similarly, a third, The Sign of 4, hinges on a fairly lengthy piece of first-person exposition at the end. Only The Hound of the Baskervilles is what one might consider a proper single narrative novel, and even then it is punctuated by a middle section that takes the form of reports. Letters written to Holmes by Watson from Dartmoor and entries from Watson's diary, covering Holmes's apparent absence from the action. Whereas, by contrast, the 56 canonical short stories are quick, sharp hits of pure, unadulterated Holmes, with all the detection, analysis, and deduction that entails. My own introduction to the world of Sherlock Holmes came via the short stories, specifically those in the Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, which my father read to me at bedtime when I was a boy from a slip-cased illustrated edition that I still own and still treasure. And while I've published 8 Holmes pastiche novels so far, I found it fascinating to tackle the character in the short story format as well. Sometimes I've used it as an opportunity to explore Holmes and his environment in ways that a novel will not necessarily support, to push the boundaries of what is considered a Sherlock Holmes tale, and to play a few, interesting to me and I hope also to others, variations on the central theme. Roughly half the stories in this collection, then, are standard traditional Holmes stories, adhering closely to the template established by Conan Doyle. They contain all the elements one might expect, and do not deviate from the norm. There is nothing in them that would frighten the horses at King's Pyland stables. The remainder, however, veer off into less well-charted territory. They feature supernatural aspects, fantasy flourishes, a touch of horror, or else they focus on characters of Conan Doyle's creation who have been...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?